today, I was able to put it together and show myself, and I think anyone who's paying attention, anyone who looks at that file, anyone who understands the history of Gold Hill, so show them it's like, game's on. Okay, it's higher intensity today. We're trying to set the record on the Gold Hill loop, so 2 hours, 10 minutes is the current record. So we're going to be going through 2 sachets of Tailwind high carb. We have been absolutely loving this. In fact, we joke that it must have caffeine in it because we feel so good the rest of the day after we take it. But I just think it's designed to get into your bloodstream and work really well. We've mainly used it on the bike, but also for high intensity run workouts. So today, my heart rate's going to be above threshold for an hour-long climb, and I'm not going to be able to take in gels in my normal fashion. And this just simplifies things. Carry less weight and do all that. So what I'm going to do is both of these packets have 90 grams of carbs apiece, so 360 calories each. And I'm going to mix 2 of them into 3 bottles. So each bottle is going to have 60 grams of carbs, which, you know, over 2 hours, this plus 1 caffeinated gel that I'm going to take around halfway will come out to, you know, a little over 100 grams of carbs per hour. So yeah, we are 12 days out from the Big Alta 50K here. This is my last longer effort. But this isn't necessarily thinking about Big Alta. If Big Alta was my focus race of the season, I wouldn't do this. This is thinking about Western States and Leadville and beyond. Kind of a little check-in style effort to see where things are at. All right, today's nerves. I think probably the first time you guys have seen full nerves, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do this. It's competition. Haven't competed in a while, even though it's competition against ghosts and a clock. Gonna be wearing my Nike Alpha Flies for this, even though it has a lot of vert and dirt, which comes with risks, as evidenced by, let's see that rock in the, so probably collect a few rocks on the way down. We've shown you Gold Hill before, episode 3, the route that makes champions. I have gone up Gold Hill hard once, and I was about 107.40, and on that video you saw where I didn't go hard, the whole time, I mean, a couple parts of it were hard, I did 107.50. So clearly the fitness is there to go faster than I did 6 years ago, or 7 years ago when I was 29. The current record is 105 something, 105 high, 105.40, by a very fast runner. This is who's who on this list of top times of the best runners, best trail runners who have ever lived. So, you know, not something I take lightly. The big uncertainty today is the wind. So it was on the National Weather Service site, and the wind looks like it could be a pretty stiff headwind at the top. If so, you know, thank you for Mother Nature for the challenge, but it's interesting to approach this effort when we're down here. It's a little more shielded. Don't know what we're going to be getting up there, and if it's a headwind up there, sometimes it can be brutal beyond belief. But we're going for the full FKT, the full loop. So if it's a headwind up there, we'll also get a tailwind on the way back on the downhill. And the full time is the actual time we're going for, which is 2 hours, 10 minutes, 34. I have splits written on the up, but I'm actually quite confident that, you know, I could get the full loop, even if it's windy, because, you know, the full loop, I can open up my stride, use the speed a little bit, but the splits on the uphill and different landmarks. When I get to that middle one, 2818, this Bald Mountain, and if I'm ahead or around there at that point, I will probably give it gas to try to get the full segment, even if it's windy. If I'm behind, I'll probably still go for it. You guys have learned about me, but we'll see. Okay, go do the warm-up and the actual warm-up, and see you soon. All right. I'm going to destroy it. I think that it's an opportunity, right? Like, I have dreamed about being able to come back for this at some point, and just the stars haven't aligned, and they've aligned now. So embrace the opportunities we have. One thing is I don't fear it, that's for sure. That's like maybe the best like change that's happened overall. Is I used to get scared of not necessarily failure, but maybe the pain of it. And something shifted, whether it was the accident or just realizing that it's okay no matter what. But mainly I think it's just parenting, you know, like we were up 2 times in the middle of the night last night with Ollie, who's the best kid, and it's just a hefty dose of like grounding that like I can't wait to go back to him and see his little smile. He's really starting to smile now, and I'll be thinking about that smile on the way up, thinking about how great of a mom Megan is, how fun Leo is right now. He's obsessed with the playground, and he's just like, Leo fast, Leo fast, Leo fast, every time he runs around it. So David fast, David fast, David fast, let's do it. Here we go, David. Come on. Love you guys. 30 seconds. I think I knew what I was capable of, but there's a big difference between knowing it on paper and doing it in practice. I knew that to get that time against some of the best athletes who have ever done it, I was going to have to go to really difficult places, to the pain cave in ways that are different than an interval even. When you're going 1 hour hard, which is what the climb was, or so, there's nowhere to hide. There are thousands of athletes who could have run on my heels for the first 4 miles of that climb. The part where, the true separation happens is when we're talking about minute 40, minute 50 of a 1 hour climb. Because when you're pushing threshold and pushing above threshold, you are really testing your fatigue resistance under strain. And I was like, look, this is the thing I work hard for. This is the thing that I've shown at the 100 milers I have. And I have built speed on top of it. So I can go into this not expecting a miracle, just expecting science. So, as we got up that steep part and I looked down at my watch, I saw that 20-second gap at Bald Mountain had ballooned out to over a minute, maybe even a minute 10. And then I was like, fuck yes, that is what I've been working so hard for. Like, I'm not going to be the athlete that is doing the mountain running championships anymore. Like, that's not where my goals lie. But where my goals do lie is what happens when things get really hard and you have the best athletes in the world as ghosts running with you. What's happening to them? And those ghosts started falling behind. Being there and knowing that as long as I executed here, I was going to be able to get this. It just made me reflect on the history on this route and the history of the sport and the history of Boulder. And maybe most significantly, it made me reflect on my own history. So I've done this climb hard from top to bottom, or from bottom to top, 3 different times. The first time I did it hard was before Strava in 2010. So that would mean I was 22 years old or so. And I think I did it in 1 hour, 20 minutes. And I was like, this is amazing. I was so proud of myself. That's so fast. And, you know, I wasn't sure how much faster I go. I knew there was more in the tank, but I was really impressed with myself. So 1 hour, 20 minutes. The next time I did it hard was to go for the record. And I got the record at the time, which was 2019 when I was 30 years old, peak, absolute athletic prime for an endurance athlete. And I ran 107.51. And as I was running and seeing the seconds tick over, I was like, 36 years old. What's possible? What I ran was a 104.25. Got it. Love you. So, you know, that 30-year-old definitely didn't think there was any more in the tank. After I finished that one in 2019, I had to hitchhike back down. I couldn't even move anymore. And on this one, I got to, like, not just move, but run down the rest of the mountain. And what a reflection on what happens when you compound gains over time. That, you know, every brick stacks up, but it's not just like one brick on top of one brick on top of one brick. It's that every brick ends up being a little bit bigger because of the ones you've put under it. And I had a moment where during it, as I started the rundown, you know, and the rundown for me wasn't a super focused thing. Like, I mainly just wanted to get back to the car efficiently, get a nice stimulus in my legs. I just had a moment where I reflected on the fact that, like, this is my last attempt at this mountain. You know, like, I put out what I had. And yeah, maybe you could try to, like, game the conditions to get a perfect tailwind or perfect something, like maybe a full taper, like it's a race or something. But I gave it my all. And how many times can we say that in life? Like, I wouldn't even say that about, you know, the 100 milers I did last year. Like, I gave it my all. And I can't wait for more athletes to chase my ghost, because, like, my dream is that we're seeing what's possible. And I think that what I did out there is gonna be the type of thing that pushes athletes to new levels here in Boulder and maybe beyond, you know. That time had stood since 2020 and hasn't really been seriously challenged. And I never thought I'd be able to do that. Even knowing the numbers I have, even knowing how hard I work, I never, ever thought I'd be able to do that. Ah! Gotta make sure that one stays. Okay, I don't care if we get this on camera. Cody, hug. Love you, man.
Yeah, love you. That was awesome. You fucking destroyed that.
Oh, Cody and everyone watching, like, that was the culmination of everything we've been building for, not just in these episodes, but the last 18 years, you know, like, the climb. I mean, a 1 hour climb is about as real as it gets when it comes to trail runner fitness. And when we started in episode 1, I said that I wanted to get fast and wanted to get here. So that's because, what have we had? 5 or 6 episodes where you guys have helped me reach places that I didn't know was possible, and talk about things in a way that helped me process on the run. Like, I wanted to quit at 10 minutes and 15 minutes and 20 minutes, and I left foot, right footed my way to at least a little slice of history here in Boulder. And I love you guys. Thank you for being there, and thank you for making something that seemed truly impossible not just possible, but absolutely a freaking blast. Love you.